Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict on this fine Friday evening, or if you're in the States or wherever you may be watching. If you're in the States, it's probably about 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's not a good time for me to go live, but it is what it is because I ain't staying up any later because I'm a man with 2 children. And I also, my wife does beat me up if I come to bed too late. So without further ado, by this title that I set up, by the way, guys, you probably have no idea what this video is about, but it is about UFOs, but I daren't put them in my title. But it is what it is, and we work with what we've got. We use the tools. I haven't even tagged this video. I forgot to do it, but never mind. So, yes, if you are here, I forgot to tag the video. Whack the thumbs up, share it out on all sorts of social media. Without further ado, we're going to bring on my guest, my first guest, because there may be a second guest. But my first guest tonight, my good friend, and we look like brothers, I've been told as well. Lee from Musty Audio. Welcome, my friend.
Hi. How's it going?
How you doing? I'm good, mate.
I'm good. Who said we look like brothers?
I just made that up. I just
we've
both. I just thought.
Touch ginge, haven't we?
Yeah. No, actually, it was my wife that said you two look a bit alike. You've both got the gingerness.
Isn't that a roundabout way of your wife saying she fancies me a bit?
Well, we were talking about that before the show, but we can't talk about what we were saying about sharing things.
No.
So yeah, mate. Just before we start going into the UFOs, just tell the people what's going on with you, because you've had a bit of you've got 2 channels. You've got Musty Audio and you have the Formula one, which is, I forgot the name of it.
The Hot Lap.
That's it. The Hot Lap.
Yeah. The Hot Lap's just a podcast. So, but it's been snapped up by a British sport podcast network, which is nice. So that's
congratulations,
really
mate.
Cool. It's not. It helps me. I don't have to pay for it to be hosted anymore, and I've got like a team of minions that run around finding advertising for me. So that's nice.
So if the people watching this, where can they find Hot Lap?
Just look for Hot Lap on anything. Look for the Hot Lap podcast, and the Hot Lap F1 show, and you'll find it. It's got a black and white logo. It says the Hot Lap in the shape of a Formula One car. Looks dead cool. My friend designed it for me. She's really
awesome.
Good.
Well, I'm really happy for you, mate. I'm really, really happy for you. The weird thing is we set this video up because we were talking about a guest that's going to come on that's been on your show. There's going to be an ex-Scientologist that has agreed to come on as long as you hold his hand.
Obviously, all the time. I love holding hands.
Because you interviewed him on your show, and it was a great interview. So
one of my favorite podcasts, if not my favorite podcast, actually.
I am looking forward to being introduced to that guy, but also asking him some questions about Scientology because I ain't got a clue. I've said this before on the channel. I used to think when I was a kid that I say a kid, a teenager. I said to my mum and dad, I think I'm a Scientologist, but that's only because I believed in aliens. That was it. Yeah. That was the only reason behind it. But when you look into all the stuff, I'd rather not be as mental, absolutely mental.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of cults anyway. Like if you could put a cult on something, I'm gonna entertain it for an hour and a half, easy.
As a single man, I'd be all over cults because they seem to have sex a lot.
Yes, they do. But you have to be the cult leader.
As long as it wasn't having sex with animals or sex with dead people.
No, but that's you have to be the cult leader, because what happens if you're not the cult leader is it just seems to be that you tend to watch the cult leader have sex with lots of people.
Oh no.
And then now and again, like
that's just like watching live porn.
Whether you want it to be or not, it might be you.
We need to calm down. It's on YouTube. I forgot about that. Just forgot where we are. But it's not for kids. My channel does say it's not for kids. I might start putting a little 18 sticker in the bottom corner.
Haven't they said now, YouTube? Haven't they said that they allow certain profanity to be monetized? That's a new YouTube thing, isn't it? I mean, I'm not suggesting we test it.
No, I'm just saying that we need to be careful because how we talk off air, we just, I'd get shut down within a second. Yeah,
mate. The stuff that goes on inside my head has to stay inside. That's on podcasts as well. That's on podcasts as well. That can't even be thrown off.
Well, you don't care what you say on your podcasts because you don't have to deal with YouTube.
Well, no, the funny thing is that does go through a little bit of a filter. I've got like a little fine one. It's definitely not what I think.
So, yeah, I put this title out and I put this thumbnail together simply because I couldn't really think about what to do because I just invited you on without really having much of a subject other than the past few UFO, the pictures that have come out that told George Knapp released. But a lot's happened since then. We've had the footage that Corbell's just put out, and I think he may have got that off Mr. Knapp. And Mr. Greer, the man himself, he has put out probably the greatest.
Looks a little bit like me there.
He's put out the greatest pitch I've ever seen. It's simply beautiful.
Yeah, but, I've got a theory about Mr. Greer because this was the one where he starts talking about the fake alien invasion again as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has literally put out that he needs our help. This big space, weapons in space. Mm-hmm. It's nothing to do with, protecting your own country or whatever. It is to do with the fact that they're going to maybe, attack maybe a couple of innocent greys.
I mean, I think anyone that's watched us do a show before knows that I have suspicions about the authenticity of Mr. Greer. And I was thinking about this today, actually. Almost like I was thinking that we were going to do this. If you knew, right, because obviously he's, regardless of whether he's like full of nonsense or not, he's clearly connected, and he's involved. He's got his little like jacked fingers in everything. So let's just say he knows that whatever's coming from this 180-day CIA document, let's say he knows that something's going to be blown the lid on. What I think is going to happen is that there's going to be some sort of government recognition of these things are things. We don't quite know what they are. We haven't ruled out them being another nation's technology, but we also haven't ruled out them being weather or, I don't know, lizards or interplanetary sort of travelers. So like just leave the book open as in it's not all faked pictures on YouTube. And I think what Greer's doing is he's positioning himself so he can be the fake alien invasion guys coming now. And that's going to be his new stick.
This two-way, I don't want to talk about a man when he's not in the room. So just give me literally, just give me a second, Lee. There we go. So
he's looking a bit peaky there.
Well, I tried to match him with Homer's skin. Jokes aside,
he looks like you're jaundiced.
He's a doctor, can sort that out. All jokes aside, I've said this before. I actually do like Stephen Greer. I've got no issues with him. I find I actually really did enjoy Unacknowledged. That was one of my favorites. I enjoyed that. I think the guy, I don't think he's complete and utter. A lot of people say this guy is nothing but a complete and utter, a fraudster. He maybe a fraudster is a harsh word, but he's kind of manipulating people and doing so and so, so and so. I think the guy's making a very clever living off the subject that he's studied for years and years and years. Do I think that there is a little bit of sneakiness in that man? Stephen, if you're watching this, I kind of do think there's a little bit of sneakiness in you. But if we go back to pre 9/11, I worshipped the ground you walked on, and I thought you were the man. So you need to get that back in you. That, because he did a lot for ufology, and he still kind of he has. But we do have the second guest in the house. We do. He's here. He's late but ready. I don't even know if I introduced the guest that was coming on, but it's Osvaldo Franco. He's in the house and he is here, and he's the man that he'll tell us the truth. He'll know the truth. Oz, welcome to Alien Addict. Welcome to Alien Addict.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Oz, that hair. We can hear you.
Okay.
That hair.
How you doing?
Oz,
right, so,
I can hear you, but I can also hear myself. You may want to drop out. You may want to drop out and put headphones
Come back in?
Put headphones in.
I have headphones on.
Okay, you've got a leaky headphone.
Well, hold on. Let's see. Is this better?
Hello?
Is it better
it's
without
better.
it? Because I can hear you better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Without the headphones.
That's perfect. You're always walking around New York. You are a busy man.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little man. Is it a man?
Oh, he's a boy. He's a large, 110-pound dog.
Yeah, I thought it was a man. I could see his balls dragging on the street. But yeah. How you doing? Mate, I'm loving the soul glow. I'm loving the soul glow today.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a Harlem tradition, bro.
You've had that cut?
Yes.
Oz, this is Lee from Must See Audio, by the way. Pardon
How
my
you doing,
rudeness.
buddy?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Thank you.
We need to get you on Must See Audio. For any of the guests that are watching this who may not know who Osvaldo Franco is, we have had him on a few times. He's an investor. I don't know if you're still an investor, but with TTSA, you are still an investor, still supporting the DeLong.
Well, more on that also, because we had the shareholders meeting.
Okay.
But right now you guys were talking about Stephen Greer. I got some input on that for you, personal input.
Okay.
All right. Did I ever tell you the full story? Like, all right. Yeah. In my opinion, Stephen Greer isn't completely on the up and up. And he plays it fast and loose with a lot of stuff, which should be a surprise to no one. But I'll tell you, all right, video that was put up on YouTube where somebody had asked Hal Puthoff on camera if what Stephen Greer had said about him was true, that he has all this information, but if it came out that they would kill him and his family. And what Puthoff said was, well, I did tell him a lot of information, but that last part about killing my family and things like that, that's not what I said. And well, that reminded me of when I met Stephen. Now, this was in the early days. Well, I'd met him previously, like very briefly.
Yeah, you're on the credits. You are on the credits of
of Sirius.
Sirius.
Yes. But this was even well before that. All right, so it's 2001. And Greer is doing this lecture series trying to promote the Disclosure Project. And he went to Cooper Union downtown. And he was given this lecture. And basically he showed the first two parts of the original Disclosure Project that was cut up into two parts.
What year was this?
Oh my God, this is 2001. This is like almost 20 years ago.
You must have been, I mean, you're the same age as me, about right. You must have been about 21 years old.
Dude, I was a teenager, and I went to go see Stephen Greer talk. And honestly, this was like the most exciting shit. As you know. So anyway, I go and I'm watching this thing. And like I said, I had met him previously before, and I was hoping that he would recognize me or remember me, because there weren't, like, I was much younger even then. There weren't a lot of kids in ufology, and to my knowledge, there still aren't. But anyway, so he gives a lecture, and we see the videos, and he does this Q&A, right? And in the Q&A, he was talking about how this is back when they were talking about starting do you remember the Orion project? His Orion project, not NASA's. That they were going to try to make free energy devices and engineer some of these technologies and bring them out to the public. But this is when he was first talking about this. And he was talking about how if he had
That's a great pose.
You're saying if he had 500,000, pardon? Hello? Oh, yeah. So he said,
Sorry, you've paused in the greatest position.
He could build a platform, like an anti-gravity platform, that he could stand on, and that he could, like, literally float on it, and say, like, move around, like, the closer to the ceiling. It was in this large auditorium, and then landed, and
he'll be back. Like
He's been
Terminator.
abducted.
That's so unprofessional of me, but Wreaking Havoc, my friend, how you doing? Hey, you know what? We ought to get him to join in the crowd. John, I'm sending you a link. I know you may be at work, but you're welcome to join in. I will send you the link out. Because here he is.
Anyway, so he said, you heard about the build for 500 grand that he was talking about? Well,
sorry, say that. The bill, did you say?
Pardon?
It broke up a little bit. You said you heard about the...
You're breaking up.
So are you.
The audio is shit.
I apologize.
Hello?
Hello? I can hear you now, Oz. I can hear you.
Hello.
Oz?
Hold on. Let me try it, see if the...
Thank you, Alien Girl.
Alien Girl's trying to buy some bandwidth.
I need some bandwidth by the sounds of it. Oz, if you're watching this, you could just, if you wait until you get home, you might be good. Oz, if you can still hear me. But yeah, so Oz is having a few technical issues. I mean, that's going to happen when you're walking around the city.
Mick in the chat just said Osvaldo in the house. He's not in the house. That's the issue. He's out of the house.
He's back in the house. He's back in the house. He's in the house.
What?
I'm just saying you are in the house.
Hold on a second. Hello?
Oz, do you want to wait until you get settled and then come back on?
Hello?
Oz, hello. Yeah, we can hear you, Oz. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. All right. Well, like I was saying,
we can hear you, Oz. We can hear you. We can hear you fine. If you keep still.
Hello?
Hello.
Hold on. Maybe if I go out and I come back in, maybe that will. Hold on a second.
Okay, mate. Yeah, you get settled. You get settled, darling, and we'll I'll. If you hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oz, if you can hit.
BPXM with the question on everybody's lips. Hello, what's with the ear?
I thought it was going to start saying he's sponsored by Raycon.
No, he'd have to do ASMR, wouldn't he, for it to be sponsored by Raycon? Seems to be all the ASMR girls that are sponsored by Raycon.
We'll wait for him to get back on. He keeps coming about 10 times. Here we are. It's back. Oz, are you in? If not, what if this doesn't work, Oz? What I'm going to say is to you is get settled, and as soon as you're ready, let me know.
It's breaking up. I can't see you and
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Okay, Oz, I'm going to remove you. I'm going to remove you, Oz. And then
You sound like a synthesizer.
Okay.
VPXM, don't apologize. It's hilarious.
Okay, hey, we're back.
You're back. Okay.
Are we back?
You are. I can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, you stay still. Carry on.
Yes, nobody move. Nobody breathe wrong. And hopefully we'll get through this. So Greer was talking about how 500 grand. I can build you this platform, this anti-gravity platform, and it'll float around the room with me on it. I can land it vertically. So the meeting, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible, right? And he has a Q&A. And I go and I ask him, like, well, we have all this anti-gravity technology. Is there any type of like exploratory missions going on that we don't know about? Is there anything going on, in space? Is anybody making any secret space missions? And he was like, no, there weren't, which is something that has changed. So
just when it started to get interesting. I think it is.
We can build anti-gravity platforms, but we can't video call.
No.
You just carry on, mate. You just carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, after the Q&A, there were people lining up and they were asking him like questions more directly, and he was with a group of people. And again, I'm a kid, and I'm studying physics at this point, right? And because of ufology, and I basically come to him, I was like, is there any way that I can help? Is there anything I can do? I will throw my entire, which I did anyway. But Greer comes at me on this oddly hostile, attack. And he's basically accusing me of being an agent for somebody, which is and the thing is, he's doing it in a way that is for the benefit of these people that are listening to him speak. You get what I'm saying? And it was really disingenuous and odd. And I was young. I thought maybe I had done something wrong. And it's like, no, I had been nothing but really nice and respectful. This guy's a jerk. So this is the thing. Is Stephen Greer above playing games? I don't think so. Is Stephen Greer completely on the up and up? I don't believe so from personal experience. That's the thing. I just honestly, I don't trust him 100%. He did a lot of great stuff for ufology, and then he shot himself in ufology in the foot with all these other things that he did. And honestly, dude, if all you needed was $500,000, and we now know that Stephen Greer has taken in millions of dollars over the last 20 years and things like that, and they making of these documentaries and stuff like that. And I know he lives in a really, really awesome house. He likes to brag about how he has, it was the first, I think, home in his state that had solar panels. He has this huge solar panel array, those are extremely expensive, especially several years ago. I'm wondering where that platform is, because, dude, if I had a couple $1 million and all I needed was $500,000 to build that platform, you best believe the first thing I'm building is that platform. That's honestly, and not only that, that's not just me. If you had that money, you would too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
You talk about something that would change the world overnight.
Yeah, no. And being the fame whore that Stephen Greer is, you don't think that he would want to do that immediately from go?
Maybe he spent all his money on TRT.
That's much more impressive than that little anaconda guy.
So
but,
Oz,
here we are 20 years later.
with this whole thing that he's put out, do you think that all that is a quick money maker?
Repeat that again.
With what Greer's just put out, where he wanted us all to listen,
No.
because do you think that's just a quick money maker, or do you think there is some hidden truth to that?
I can barely hear you, bro.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Huh? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's your end, Oz. But can people in the chat can people in the chat hear me? By the way, I'm not going mad on my.
I wish I could just get some audio.
Yeah, me too. So, do you think
The audio is breaking up?
Okay, do you want to drop out and come back in again?
What the hell?
It's Stephen.
Hello?
Stephen does not want you to say this. Can you hear me?
Oh, wow.
Oh dear. So, I'll wait for Oz to kind of clear his ears out. The Stephen Greer thing for me is
What?
I feel like I'm being punked here. He's back again.
Hello?
Hello, mate. Can you hear me now?
All right. So, yes. Quick. Everything quick.
Yeah.
We'll do it
Okay.
Grant Cameron style.
What we'll do, Oz, we'll get this question out, and then you can bugger off until you've got some better. No, in the nicest possible way. But it's just it's breaking up for you. I think it might be where you are, but
No, bro, I'm in Central Park. We have brilliant, exceptional Wi-Fi everywhere in Manhattan.
It's Stephen then. It's Stephen doing this to you.
Yes.
Do you think that Stephen has this is just a quick money maker for him?
I think that some of these guys, and I think that they are. I think with the way that disclosure, it looks like it's looming and it's coming. I think that they're trying to make as much money as they can before the rug gets pulled out from under them. Something similar happened with Richard C. Hoagland in 2012. Like, have you noticed that nobody's ever heard from Richard C. Hoagland again? When 2012 was approaching, he started talking about the super wave and how it was going to change the laws of physics.
1 second, John's in.
Hoagland still posts quite a lot, though, doesn't he? Because I follow him. He still does quite a lot of blog posts and stuff. Yeah.
Really, because he used to be a lot more popular.
Yeah, no. He was always on podcasts and stuff like that as well, wasn't he? But I follow him on Facebook and Twitter. He does still sort of blog and things like that. But I know what you mean.
So the question is that I'm asking you here, John. Sorry, John. I'm just gonna add John to the stream. John, welcome to the stream. We'll come at you in a second. How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, what's up,
You're looking beautiful. So Oz, Oz, you've you know who John is, don't you, Oz? Wreaking Havoc?
No. Oh yes. Oh, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? Good. How about yourself?
Oh, all right. Same old. Can't complain. Disclosure's going to happen in 2.5 months. Very happy.
You think so? I don't think so, personally.
Pardon?
I don't think so.
Before we get to that, I want to get this out of Oz before he breaks up again. Do you think that Stephen is pulling a fast one with what he put out on the internet?
Breaking up. Everybody's switching on and off.
Every time I ask him about Stephen pulling a fast one, I break up. What is Stephen doing? Oz, Oz, are you going? Are you going home at all? Because are you going home? Because whenever I interview and you're at home, it's fine.
You sound like you're an auto-tune.
Yeah, I am.
Start singing "Life After Love."
Wreaking Havoc, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
What do you make to what's going on?
As far as what?
Have you seen what Greer's just put out?
I have not. No. Is it like the past couple of days?
Yeah, well, he's basically, which is the question I'm about to ask Osvaldo now. He's put a video out saying that there's going to be the Space Force weapons in space. There's a big he needs to basically do a documentary, get it out in the space of how long is it, Lee?
Yeah, no, listen.
Oh, you can hear me now.
It's futile. That is politics. That is Stephen Greer. Let me say this. I believe that Stephen Greer, again, trying to get out in front. I think he's tried, like all the celebrity stuff. Like he's trying to win a Nobel Prize. He's trying to make this about him to see if he can do this.
Yeah, he said that.
Quite honestly,
Demi Devato, whatever her name is, and
it's not even
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, yeah, it's not even like particularly intelligent celebrities. It's the kind of douchey celebrities that like would be into Stephen Greer, but not into like somebody that's like a hard science. Like they'll like know who Stephen Greer is, but not who Jacques Vallée is. You know what I'm saying? These are people that like UFOs. They're not people that know a lot about it or care about it. You know. And that's the problem. And it's a douchey thing to do, and it's self-serving, and that's Stephen Greer. Honestly, it's within the man's character. It's how he's done stuff. All the years that I've been following this, and that's quite a few years. I don't honestly like. I think Stephen. Honestly, I think Stephen thought that he was going to like bring this crashing down in a real juvenile sort of way and make himself a star. And then basically he gathered all that information, but it basically bounced off the establishment. The only people that were super impressed were us, and that wasn't good enough. And that's been 20 years. I think he sees I think he's trying to run for the finish line because the finish line is coming towards all of us soon.
You think we're going to get disclosure in 2 months?
Yeah, and I think he's going to try to like listen, dude. He's going to be like, oh, you see, it's the military establishment's trying to stop me and stuff, and it's like, no, you're insignificant. If the military establishment was going to try to stop you, nobody would have heard of you. You would be good and gone. Your stuff would be a memory. They would, they would do something to have you eliminated, whether it's a scandal or an accident or something. That's how those things go down. None of that has happened. It's just
and
like,
you saying you think we're going to get disclosure in 2 months?
I think that, all right. Did you see what Corbell had dropped yesterday?
We're gonna. What we'll do. We can discuss. Yeah, we can discuss that while we play it. I'm sure Corbell doesn't mind me playing it because we've spoke a few times. And Jeremy, I'm using this for educational reasons. And if you want to check out the original, I will add it to the description. But go check out Jeremy Corbell's channel and his film, Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. But yeah, we do have this piece of footage that's been put out, and it kind of reminds me a little bit, but obviously not fake, well, not CGI, but it reminds me of what Tom DeLonge showed on Joe Rogan. I'm saying it reminds me of it.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that.
With the night vision.
That they say, oh, that's just a balloon. What if that's? Hello.
Yeah, we still hear us. I'm playing you the video.
Hello. That says I'm here. I can't see anybody else.
So we are playing now the video. Oz, we are here. We're playing the video.
Yeah. Okay. You're back on. Okay.
So
hello.
Yes, Oz. You will better see us because we're playing the video now. So what we're seeing.
No, you're clear.
Is this triangle with the the classic looking TR3B. I've slowed it down. So obviously you've got this night vision footage.
We've had a lot of disclosure, and apparently that triangle, that video, is one of 12 that's supposed to be coming out with this briefing. So again, dude, this is a lot of disclosure. I don't think they can keep dropping stuff like this and the public not catch on. I don't think it's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, we've never had this before, or this much activity or this much evidence. You know, like the last 3 years have been extraordinary, and it seemed like, and dude, in the last few months, it's just gotten so much better. I don't think that this is. There's too much going on, dude, and like I said before, you know, one of the things that's been talked about is that there's, and I've said this a long time, UFO activity has spiked. UFO activity has spiked dramatically. They are coming closer to our military stuff. At the same time, we've developed sensors and equipment that are much more advanced and can detect them more readily, and yet they're still coming closer. But not only that, we're also dealing with increased commercial flight activities with UFOs. We're having all these near misses from, like, you know, regular, you know, commercial airlines that you know, you and your family fly on. They are doing this because they have a gun to their head, and it's maybe more than one gun. You know, extraterrestrials have increased their activities.
But I mean,
Go ahead.
I'm obviously a believer, otherwise I wouldn't be part of this panel. But if UFO activities increased, I know the what's being publicized is being increased. But when you look at all the technology we have now, and I don't just mean mobile phone cameras, because everyone knows mobile phone cameras, apart from a couple of them, for distance, are pretty shitty.
In fact,
but look, when you look at digital SLRs and stuff like that, where's all the civilian footage?
Where's all the civilian footage? Honestly, there might not be all that much. Again, a lot of the stuff that we're getting is like from FLIR and these other like sophisticated systems. And in fact, people in the know say there's a lot better stuff. In fact, one of the major reasons why these things aren't more flung around more readily is because they don't want people to know exactly our capabilities. So they send in the, you know, the fuzzy versions of these things, which is better than nothing, because, you know, we've had nothing for decades. You know, I believe that that's going to change though soon. I think that this is a whole lot of disclosure. They're doing this for reasons. Honestly, like this has been said before, that we are, and I've said this before, we are almost certainly due at some point for a Phoenix Lights event. Only this time, you know, like as opposed to the Phoenix Lights where you got like 300 videos because people had camcorders, something like this happens in a major city, preferably America, preferably during the daytime. Like, do you know how many videos would be taken? You know how quickly Facebook and Instagram and everything would be flooded with, you know, millions or hundreds of thousands of videos of the same big ass UFO, you know, just hovering over a city.
So,
you know, this is the thing.
Go on, what are you going to say?
And it's going to happen. It's got, at some point, it's got to happen. If they don't get out ahead of this, do you realize the PR disaster? That the lack of confidence that people are going to have in the U.S. military globally?
See,
if they don't get out in front of this and at least assume some type of authority, or like that they've been on it, that they have systems in place to like not just track these things, but like even like people like, oh no, there's going to be like, you know, oh no, they're going to militarize space. People are going to want to have something to, you know, even if it doesn't work, they're going to want to have something.
Do you remember? I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when there was supposedly drones over the Heathrow Airport. Was it Heathrow or Gatwick? I can't remember. Heathrow, I think it was, wasn't it? Shut down like the largest airport in the UK. Very similar to what happened in O'Hare. I'm still convinced that was a UFO encounter because it was 2 days, I think, or it might have even drifted into a third day. They tried to say that it was drones that were coming back and forwards. That doesn't make sense. If it was a drone coming back and forwards, you track the fucking thing.
The UFOs, yeah, well, the UFOs use drones.
Mm-hmm.
They use drones, so they're not lying, maybe.
Oh,
Those could very well be drones. They're just not our drones.
Yeah, they're not ours. But this is what my point was about as far as civilian footage coming out. How good might it be? Might the powers that be at cleaning the internet? Because I think there should have been hundreds of pictures of that, and hundreds of pictures of, like, even O'Hare even back then, but certainly that thing a couple of years ago. And I wonder if there is a major incident, how quickly that could just be shut down.
Oh no, absolutely. They have like internet kill switches. They're good at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there are people that have tried to live stream murders or shootings and stuff like that, and none of that has come out since, like, once it happened, and then basically YouTube decided that can never happen again, and it hasn't so far. Like, you hear rumors of stuff, but it's never, no one ever has a still shot or anything. So yeah, I think that they're good at cleaning stuff up. They're very, very good at cleaning stuff up, and they're very, very good at manipulating society. I think that when they figured out a way to hide UFOs. They hid the stars from us by getting us not to look. They're not even try to bother to look. And I think that type of manipulation has worked so well that they're trying to pull other stuff on us too, even though they've disengaged with, lying about UFOs, or not, maybe not lying, but rather they've disengaged with the pretending that they don't exist. Is this going to be spun? Yes. Everything is spun. Everything is spun.
Oz.
Yes.
So this footage that Corbell's just put out on his channel, with this triangular object with the night vision, yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that is ours?
It's a possibility. Honestly, it's a possibility. I do believe that some of this weird stuff is ours.
Okay, so so let me go to John Wreaking Havoc and Must See Audio with this footage. So you may not see us for a minute, Oz, because I'm bringing the footage up on screen again.
Yeah, fine.
So we can discuss it. So John, have you seen this footage yet?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, what do you make of it?
Personally, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. This is my personal opinion. I think they keep feeding us stuff about UFOs, so we're not talking about who's flying the UFOs, because you never hear them really talk about that on the news whatsoever. Everyone's focused in on the vehicles themselves. And I personally think it's a way to keep us from talking about who's actually flying them, because it's never mentioned. You never really hear about it in the mainstream. Like, they're not really asking questions on what's flying the vehicles. They're just concerned on the vehicles themselves,
So what do you think this could be then? Do you think this is ours?
It could be either. It's either or, 50-50 probably. But I mean, if it's a UFO, it's a UFO. I don't think UFOs are.
Well, it's definitely a UFO because it's a UFO to us because it's unidentified.
Yes, but
that is an
unidentified being ours,
or
another being.
We don't know what that is.
I agree. I mean, it's cool, but I think everyone's kind of asking the wrong questions. Like me personally, in the situation I've been in, I couldn't care less what they're flying. I'm more concerned about what they actually are and what they're doing here. I mean, how long are they going to take to discuss and figure out what these are? And that could take, 50 years maybe, kind of gloss over what's actually inside of them. That's the way I've always looked at it. But I also have had an experience, so my visions, my views a little different than everybody. But that's just how I feel.
Lee, what do you make of it?
I'm always massively suspicious of a UFO when it seems to have some sort of like FAA flashing light on it.
Right. Yeah.
It's
how the aliens.
Yeah. But on the other side of it, as far as these like crafts with like crazy abilities go, if one country has that technology, they would already be sort of masters and controllers of the world. So either everybody has it and they just don't use them ever. It's we haven't used anything like that for war, or all these things are just completely unknown. I think that's the other one, and it's the one that we never really talk about. Is what if simply nobody knows anything?
Yeah, I've just seen Third Phase they posted a video on a Google Earth footage, which is pretty good. And it actually does show this craft. And I did a little bit of research after I watched this video, and you can see that there is a craft that does look like this. It is that shape. Thank you, Third Phase. But yeah, we're seeing these crafts, and I'm thinking that a lot of these that are getting released to us. If you remember back in the day when nobody really knew about the stealth bomber, and people were getting hints of this object right up to then when it was kind of like released to everybody, and that is what it could be. I do think, especially like when you said, Lee, when it's got the flash on it. It's a bit.
Then, if you had some sort of covert military vehicle, you're probably not going to put the flashy lights on it.
Yeah, that's true. And why would aliens have flashing lights? Here we are.
maybe aliens in headlights too.
Well, they have an agreement with the FAA or something. We don't know. That could have been a part of their contract with the abduction thing, allegedly. Who knows if that's true? But
so we'll move on from that. But I know you can't see the screen, Oz, but so these pieces of footage that, well, I say footage, the screenshots that George Knapp put out.
Oh yes.
Is anybody impressed by these?
I like the balloon one, the blimp looking silver one. I like. The sphere is kind of distorted, and the acorn is kind of odd. I'm starting to wonder if the acorn is a drone.
I think they're the same thing.
I was just about to say that.
I think I think it's turned on the one that looks like a blimp, and I think the one which looks like a blurry circle, I think it's just out of focus.
Could be.
That almost looks like when you're looking at a star through when you zoom it. Yeah, it kind of has that look to it. It has that weird kind of like cellular like structure to it. But yeah,
it's distorted.
Out of all of them, this is the only one that I kind of looked at and thought, well, hang about. It kind of looks. It reminded me a little bit of Flight of the Navigator, but with wings.
I was just going to say it looks like Flight of the Navigator. I was just going to say
it. But my problem with any of these, as excited that I would have probably got a few years ago, is that we just seen stills. At least the triangular object is, it's video footage. I'm always like, why are you showing us a still? Somebody's got some video footage of that.
Well, I was confused by the people that said, because I know that Batman balloon came out that looks like the same sort of shape as the third image, but I was really confused by people falling on the Batman balloon thing, because if there's one thing people aren't good at, it's distance. It's seeing things and knowing how far away they are and how big they are. You can tell if you ever go and see like a large cruise ship, like in the water that's close to dock, drive 3 minutes or up the road and see the difference in like size of those things. We're just rubbish at working size and distance out. But if for that to be a balloon, that means that jet would have to be really close to it to take a picture of it, which would mean by the time you saw it, you were fucking past it because you're going hundreds of miles an hour. And so I don't understand it. And I think the because I've seen a few UFO channels like using that Batman balloon as a debunk, and I think it's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. Did you? Sorry. I didn't see you do it.
I went and bought the balloon. I wanted, because, I want to see how close I can get it to looking like the actual picture. And to me, it looked dead on.
Well, can you imagine try to do that at what, 800 mile an hour, something like that?
When you see a metallic UFO up close, honestly, looks like a giant pan. Like it looks like a giant pan. It looks like what one of the things you're shocked. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Am I really seeing this thing? It's a piece of metal just hanging in from nothing. And these things look weird. I'm also beginning to wonder if when TTSA put out that photograph and they said that was a cylindrical shaped object, and everybody's like, oh no, that's a balloon. Maybe that really was a cylindrical shaped object. Maybe it was miscategorized as a balloon, or maybe people, or maybe it got out only because they labeled it as a balloon. Remember, a lot of these things are coming out because they are being labeled as something else. Can you release it if it's a UFO? No, but if it's a drone, then well, what's the harm in a drone?
Has anybody thought of this though? What if aliens actually do use balloons? They come in through the atmosphere.
That'd be hilarious.
It's cheap to run. Let's get a hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon. Put like 3 of them in there.
Do you remember the Simpsons episode years ago where they get abducted by aliens and the aliens are playing Pong, and the Simpsons aren't impressed, and they're like, "Well, raise your hand if your society has mastered interstellar travel," and they couldn't do it, and they're like, "Shut up." It could very well be that. Maybe they dude, if they come here, it could be like coming to see the Amish. Like maybe they oh, look how primitive they are. It could very much be very kitschy. Like maybe they oh, they're here to save the earth from us, to save us. And it's not really. Maybe they just coming and enjoying nature, and they know that if we wipe out the planet, they won't be able to do it. So they have to save the earth, and it might complicate things. They try to wipe us out while saving the earth, so they just tolerate us as long as we don't really bother them too much on their vacation.
What I find really interesting here, though, is that we have 2 people on this board right now that have both. Did I just call it a board? I didn't. No, I did, didn't I? Yeah. But we've got 2 people in this stream right now that have both had up close and personal, very different. But Oz, you back in the Hudson Valley sightings, which I have the video on my channel where you're up on the rooftop.
Oh yeah.
Describing what happened when you were how old?
I was around 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. That happened.
And that's what, and you kind of did describe that as a big round object, like a bit like a pan, yeah. And
dude, these are big and they're metal. I don't know what you like. That shouldn't surprise anybody. But when it's big and metal, it's going to look a lot like other metal stuff you've seen.
And and we've got John wreaking havoc, who's his interview on my channel has spurred on many other interviews where he's actually seen them outside his bedroom, and even friends of mine who do not believe this subject have watched John's interview and they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's seen aliens." So, I mean, for you 2 guys that have been up close and personal with these things.
Yeah. Also, we're both Puerto Rican as well.
Half. We got 1 and a half.
From a place which has a lot of these sightings.
And both me and Lee are ginger.
Aliens love Puerto Ricans, hate gingers.
They do. You guys are terrifying. With us, it's it's rum drinks.
That's why they keep taking the cows away from us, Lee. Because gingers love milk. I hate milk. I can't stand the stuff.
See, that's a lack of the calcium turns your hair red.
I watched Goof On's last show, and it was hilarious what he was saying about the cows. he said that all these cows, one day we're just going to venture out into space. We're just going to see all these fucking cows floating around. All these aliens worshipping the cows, just taking them from us.
You know, that's what I love about those people that say, oh, you have to be a vegetarian to have contact with extraterrestrials. Really? Because apparently they're not.
Yeah.
You know, like, why am I the bad guy? Because I eat the good parts? You know, I don't want the dick in the liver. You know?
I mean, I've got nothing against... I have nothing against... I've got a good friend who's a vegan. I tried to stop him. He won't, but he nearly died. I also... My auntie and uncle are vegetarians. But the person who's most close to me right now in my heart, this man, where is he? He does not look like he doesn't look like a vegetarian. Stephen is on the screen.
Oh yeah, bullshit. Yeah, he's like, well,
he's definitely not a vegetarian.
Yeah, what are you doing, dude? No way. You don't get muscles like that. I don't get. That's like, dude.
He's a steak man.
Well, listen, let me tell you.
I think he's a needle man. Just for the record.
Nah, listen, I don't think so.
I don't trust spiritual people because either one, you're stupid, or two, you're a manipulative asshole that runs a bunch of stupid people. That's what spiritual circles are. You know, and there's going to be people that are going to be upset with that. I don't care.
I'm not upset. I disagree with it.
Yeah, UFOs are real, and don't trust any type of religion. If Stephen Greer would not be the first hypocrite to be, you know, holier than thou. I mean, like, dude, the stories about Gandhi are horrendous. You know,
okay, I know you said that with spirituality, but surely, yeah.
No, all of these guys, dude. Like, my mom was really into this guy, Satya Sai Baba, who you probably heard about. Same like Gandhi. Like, dude, like I'm saying, man, like Joseph Smith, any of these dudes that start quasi-religious things.
Jesus Christ, woman. My wife gave me a cup of tea. It was like, you know, The Grudge. Sorry.
But yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I don't like, honestly, like, anytime somebody tries to wrap religion into something, run. Ufology is an ology. It's a science. The moment you stop doing science, you're not helping. You're adding spin and twists and stuff, and it's just not the case. It's like the vegetarian thing. You know, like honestly, dude, I know a lot of experiencers. I've been a part of many. I have some stories I'm going to be talking about some very influential groups that I spent like a lot of years of my youth in. A lot. Then I can verify it. The people that have these experiences, and I don't mean like, oh, I meditated in the forest and I had the, you know, a chill up my spine and I thought I saw this light and something like that. No, I'm talking about people that, like, you know, I was, you know, minding my own business, and next thing I know, I'm in a room that, you know, I bought a UFO. You know, I got weird stuff happening to me, and now I'm having like surveillance. Those types of people, like people that have real UFO, physical UFO stuff, don't match into this like spiritual stuff. You don't. If you're truly an experiencer, it's genetic. If you're truly an experiencer, you don't have to go on a diet or be holier than thou or meditate. You don't even have to try. If you're a real experiencer, that's just going to happen while you're going about your day and you're not thinking of anything about this stuff. So yeah, can you do certain, and that's not to say that CE5 doesn't completely work. It does, parts of it that do work, yes. But it's not the whole thing. Because if it was the whole thing, everybody would be having Chris Bledsoe level stuff, and they're not. There's a difference between this passive, you know, like CE5 stuff and direct contact, direct physical contact. You know, and it's a fact. And like, you know, and if you don't understand that, it's because you're not an experiencer.
But there does tend to be things that sound like people being pulled, for want of better words, being pulled out of reality, though, isn't there? You know.
Oh yes, but that's also a part of, like, listen, sometimes there's altered states of consciousness. That's a real thing, yeah. But there's also people that aren't like, taken to another place in their heads. There are people that are physically removed. Like
so Oz, I mean, there's people, I mean, several guests now that have had experience, I think John being one of them, with shadow figures. I've experienced shadow figures myself.
Yeah.
How do you explain them?
Yeah, well, that's probably something more of extra dimensional, something more along the lines of ghosts or so-called ghosts and things like that. In fact, that's one of the
wouldn't
problems
that come into spirituality?
No, no, it's not. Spirituality.
I know you're saying it's nothing to do with ufology, but
spirituality is
no,
what you
Oz,
do when
hear
you
me
don't
out.
have enough
Hear me out, Oz,
information.
Oz, hear me out here. I know you're saying it's nothing to do with spirituality, but if we're aware of them, and say there's aliens on Mars, for example, would there not be ghosts on Mars? That's a film.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, according to the remote viewers,
Shit one and all.
So if that's to be believed.
So the aliens would be aware of this?
Oh yes, of course, but it wouldn't be spirituality. It would be incorporated into science. That's the whole thing. People think of science and spirituality as these two separate things. No, those are people that don't understand the self-correcting nature of science. When science, ideally, when it's done properly and without politics or interference of people's beliefs or preferences, when it's taken at face value for what it is, it then gets incorporated into the mainstream. Like the world was flat, then it was round. They got rid of the flat maps, everybody got globes. That's how
some
this
people
works.
getting flat maps back in.
It's flat again.
But that's the thing. Don't understand that. And the fact is that, like, when UFOs proven to be extraterrestrials, that's going to be incorporated into science. And it's going to just be a part of science. It's just going to be another aspect of it. And the idea that, spirituality, no, spirituality gets in the way of things. Like, again, like you can, I mean, like even psychic abilities were kind of wonky and up in the air until, people created remote viewing protocols and got rid of the spirituality. They got rid of the BS. They got rid of the crazy lady in the magic gown, or all the theatrics and stuff that pollutes those things, and just basically has bare bones facts, results. You can do math based on it. You can be proven right or wrong. You don't have to take anybody's word for it. That's the thing. It's like people want science to be wrong somehow, and it's not going to happen that way. Science will always have the trump card. It's always going to be this way. I'm saying if spirituality was so great, theosophy would have blown up, and everybody would be using Ouija boards to communicate with each other instead of cell phones.
John, I'm going to come to you on this. Where's your thoughts with all this? Because I know where your head was, but I mean, where is it now?
I pretty much agree with everything he said, for the most part.
Yeah, because it's logical. It's no.
Yeah, let him say his piece. Let him say his piece.
I was never a religious person in the first place, but I can see what he's saying with the science and everything being a way to explain it. Like religion itself, I don't think has anything to do with ufology, but I think, Oz was right about like maybe the shadow people is more scientific. And I think
it's all science.
Yeah, but that can still be a part of ufology in that space,
Could be. Listen, there are multiple dimensions, and you can access using those dimensions. You can travel through time and space. Now, that being said, like, could ghosts be a part of that? Yeah, more than likely, yes. But it doesn't mean that there are people that died and came back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember years ago, back when Doctor Who was still good, they had an episode where there were these white energy beings that just started showing up all over the planet, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's Grandma. She came back," and it wasn't. These were aliens, and everybody just wanted to believe that their relatives had come back. And of course, Doctor Who does his thing, and then it exposes that this isn't the case, and whatever. But honestly, I think that's more akin to that. Like, again, like people see, there's an energy being. It must be Grandma. they make these wishes. They use it again, like it's, vegetarian aliens again. Like it's like all the, the aliens are coming. You have to be a vegan and spiritual, and you can't have voted for Donald Trump or all these other things. Mind you, if the stories are true, the military establishment is the ones with the best stuff. So if that was the case, why would that, why would, if they were to, like if you had to be so spiritual and perfected, then why do bastards have the best stuff? I mean, like, what is it? That's what they're doing in the Pentagon, is eating salad and meditating. That's what they're doing behind those walls.
Yeah.
You keep pausing, Osvaldo. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Sorry, hello?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My friend is.
No, I get where you're coming from, Oz, with this. I just, for some reason, I think there's something more.
No, there is more, but it's more science. That's the thing. It's like, but like,
but you could put science. You could science the shit out of anything. To quote, what's his name from that Mars film?
Yeah,
science the shit out of these potatoes.
Yeah, shit potato. But yeah, but
you can science the shit out of religion. You can do it all day long.
Yeah, but when you do that, there's nothing left. That's how you know that it's BS. And so it's just listen. People want what they want. It's a wish fulfillment fantasy that they have. Like, people do that. Human beings do that all the time. And the thing is, we've had religion so much longer than we've had science and technology. And it's taking us forever to get to rid ourselves of these bad habits. But it's happening. And I think that disclosure will be a huge part of that. I think it's going to be, in a lot of ways, it's going to be the triumph of atheism for the most part. Amongst many other things, it's going to be a triumph of evolution. People are going to stop pretending evolution isn't real when they find extraterrestrials and they evolved from something from wherever they are too. You know what I'm saying?
But if it turns out that extraterrestrials came to Earth and created us, you've just scienced God.
Out of it, yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, why do we don't really need...
No, but in that case, what science has this nice enveloping thing where it can take what it wants to at that point. Because at that point, you basically took religion and made it science. But it doesn't mean that religion could be. I'm not particularly religious, but what I mean is, if I happen to believe in God right now, you're saying it's rubbish. Yes. But if something was to come down and explain it, it would then become science and then would be real. So all we're doing is shifting the goalpost and changing the word.
Yeah, but then all we need to do is ask them. No. Yeah, but then we just need to ask.
Dude, I'm just saying that. Dude, it's like if there's a God coming down and created us is different than a group of aliens coming down and genetically engineering us, doing multiple interventions across generations and things like that. That's much different than that. I mean, like, dude, could there be a God? Sure, but if there is, he might not be aware of our existence, or he might not care. And it probably isn't necessary to worship him because everything seems to be going around the way it does, regardless whether you're paying attention to him or not. I don't think you have to worry about him being mad at you. I don't know. He probably don't even care about you if he exists at all. If spirituality
doesn't exist, how can you explain? How can you explain one man drinking a cup of tea and a beer at the same time? That's fucking spiritual.
Say it again.
No, I won't say it. I don't need to say it again. It was just nonsense. But I was messing. But here's my thing though. With what Lee just said, then the aliens come down and they say that. Oz, have you shaved your ears recently?
Huh?
Have you?
What? Huh?
I'm saying if the aliens came down, okay? Yeah, you hear that?
Yes. The aliens came down.
and they told us that they'd created us. Who created them?
Probably another group of extraterrestrials. Do you have any idea how ridiculously old the universe is? Dude, not even that, dude. How about...
But there had to be a first.
Well, this is the thing.
But
define that. You have to, like, all right, right now in cosmology, we are detecting evidence that there have been multiple Big Bangs. Like that, it's looking like Big Bangs have happened before and they keep happening. There's interstellar expansion and then there's a contraction. Everything comes back to the point, and then the Big Bang happens again. At the same time, we're finding things that are older than the Big Bang. You know, things that are like 20 billion years old when everything's supposed to be 15. So it might be possible to survive that great contraction. You know, and if that has gone on again and again and again for perhaps trillions of years or longer, you know, that's all in keeping. That's not a deal breaker. In fact, it would make some sense considering the fact that we're finding these things out, and that's conservative science. That's not even, you know, invoking any type of woo.
Do you find it odd though that science, as far as the Big Bang goes, science starts the same way as religion does? You know, before there was nothing, then there was everything. The difference is it's an explosion in science. It's a word in religion. Yeah,
well, I'm not particularly impressed with that. That's kind of stretching things in my opinion. That's stretching stuff again. You keep it simple. I don't think there's a man at a switch, like, you know, doing this. If anything, maybe the universe is an organism. You know, perhaps we live inside of God, like our cells live inside of us. Like maybe, like, you know how your body is a lot of your body is bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what we are, a type of bacteria, and the other extraterrestrials are different types of bacteria, and they're in this scaffolding that is a universe, that is a being. You know, it could be very much like that, like Osmosis Jones, if you will.
Very Men in Black.
Did you see the I think is the highest resolution photograph I've got of a human cell? I was looking at the other day, and it's all there was a picture I was reading an article the other day, which is supposed to be the highest resolution photograph of a human cell, and it's fucking insane. Did
it look like that?
No, it's much more insane. And it just made me start thinking whether we're all just things existing within the cells of a bigger thing, on a bigger thing.
Yeah, no, again, yeah, I think that could be just a microcosm of everything. Mm-hmm. You know, as above, so below, as I used to say. Really, I think that it again, dude, I'm going with science for the win. I'm going for science for the win. And again, things are just going to get more scientific. You know, demons and angels don't need craft. They don't need technology, you know, or wouldn't. And yet we are finding very advanced craft and very advanced technologies. I think that says a whole lot. I think that says more than not.
Where are these craft?
Where
are the craft? Where is the evidence?
That's a very good question. I think we're going to find out a bit more about that soon. I think, honestly, man, everything has been leading up to like we're getting a lot of confirmation of stuff.
Do you not think that we're getting really I mean, I don't know about you, Lee, or John, but I feel like we're just getting tidbits. You know, we're getting little bits.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting scraps.
We're getting crumbs.
And if that's leading to UFOlogy, if that's leading to disclosure in 2 months, then I'm a monkey's uncle, as they say. You know,
that's just the way they can look at it. You know?
Listen, they're giving you a taste so that listen. They're giving you a taste so that when the full thing comes, it's not a complete shock.
Do you not think it would be a complete shock in 2 months, though? Because we're not much further on from that New York Times article now, and that was that 2 years ago? 3. And we're still essentially talking about the same quality footage here. And I'd say I know I always bring him up when I'm on this show. I'd say the biggest thing as far as disclosure goes or preparing people would be what feels like a monthly basis. Joe Rogan talking about it, but past Rogan, and don't get me wrong, biggest independent journalist or independent media outlet in the world, arguably biggest media outlet in the world. So it's Rogan talk about is a big thing, but it's still a niche of a big thing.
Well, no, again, dude, I think we've had.
Is he in a lift?
I think he is.
That's not ideal. Some would call a lift a Faraday cage.
Yeah. Also, I know you said that the signal in New York's amazing, but in a lift, I think that kind of it wipes it out. Did you hear any of that, Oz?
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to his apartment. Are you going to your apartment?
Yep. Hold on a second.
Yep. Awesome.
I'm gonna leave.
Awesome.
Hold on.
I mean, he was going to join us when he got into his apartment, but I am glad that he came on early.
Yes. Well, it was good. I didn't know how much time we were going to have if I waited. So.
I understand.
And I had things that I had to say as well. I still have things to say. Oh, we had the TTSA shareholders meeting, by the way.
Okay.
In case anybody's interested.
I'm interested in that, definitely.
Yep.
So yeah, going back to the last time I was on the show, we were talking about what the shift in the personnel at TTSA meant and the different projects that were going on, and we were worried that maybe the tech stuff was going to be was going to be used, and we were going to do the other things, but apparently all that stuff is still on the table. They're just shifting gears because honestly, and it makes good sense. When this hits, it would probably the public interest is going to spike, and if we need money to do these projects, this is a great place to maybe start with that. Especially due to the public. People are going to want to see this. They're going to want to have explanations for this stuff. And this was always a part of TTSA's mission as well. So it's not a completely, a weird thing that they're doing.
Do you still think something's going to come of TTSA?
Absolutely. I think that depending on how this works, okay, look at it this way. Say we get 12 more videos. Say we get, some stuff about metamaterials and retrievals. Maybe not everything, but but maybe not retrievals, but we have samples. We have things that have been recovered. That's going to change a lot of stuff. That's going to change a lot of things. That's going to lead to a lot more interest, and that potentially can make a lot of money. And spaceships cost money.
Yep. Do indeed.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. Honestly, I'm glad I invested in TTSA. Mm-hmm. If disclosure comes about, it's going to be because of me and the people that supported TTSA, not the guys that have been in ufology for years that are skeptical and did not help. Honestly, all of this is happening because of TTSA. Though it will be a triumph for ufology, it will be TTSA and its supporters' personal victory. Those of you that were not involved, those of you that were skeptical, I can understand that. But once we won, we won. Those of you that were actively against TTSA and were a part of the UFO community, shame and disgrace on you.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
No. That's the other thing. There needs to be accountability for that. If you've been going around talking shit about TTSA, and TTSA is the thing that finally gets this done, egg on your face. And if you're going to be speaking in public about UFOs, you need to openly acknowledge that shit and kiss Tom DeLonge's ass.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
I mean, he came across as a fucking moron on Joe Rogan.
No, you know what? They said the same thing about Einstein. They said the same thing about.
Yeah, but Einstein didn't show a fake UFO.
No,
but they criticized his work, and they said they published a book, 100 Physicists Against Einstein, just to discredit Einstein. And Einstein said, if their theories were correct and mine was wrong, one physicist would have sufficed. Now, name me those guys those 100 physicists that were against Einstein. You can't.
Oh, that's fine.
Not only that, hindsight is 20/20.
I think,
dude. Like, do you know, like again? You might look at that.
Here's the thing, and I understand what you're saying about people being against TTSA if it all comes out and they are the heroes. You know, Tom DeLonge can sit on his motorcycle and do that pose that he does with his mouth and say, "Yeah, I told you so, motherfuckers."
I'm saying, like honestly,
I get that, but hang about 1 second, hang about. So, but you can't blame people because we're talking about ufology. If somebody said that Alien Addict's full of shit, I won't blame them. No, but do you know what I mean? Because the subject that we're speaking about, it is a crazy subject.
Oh,
everyone has the ability to be completely wrong at any time.
You have to acknowledge that.
I don't blame anybody.
You have to say, Tom DeLonge, hold on, my question. All right, when this comes out and it works, Tom DeLonge did it, and it happens. Are you going to be giving him credit? Or are you going to still be like, no, not him, even though it was him directly, immediately?
Hey, I've never.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying to those that have it, not you. You know, you're going to have to. Pardon?
But I suppose so. But yeah, it's got to happen first.
Dude, this happens. That's a hero, especially if you're a ufologist. Honestly, like who in ufology would have made a greater contribution? Who in its history? In fact, it would be the end of ufology. Yeah. We would be xenologists after that, because we would identify what they were at that point, or at least.
How do you feel about Greer? Not Greer, sorry. Help me with names. Bob Lazar.
Lazar, I think that there's more. I think we're going to find out more about Bob Lazar. I think that, again, all of this stuff that's coming out at the same time.
Bob Lazar bought a T-shirt off me the other day, and he bought one for Jeremy
too. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Guys, I have launched the merch. It's in the description. Thanks, Oz.
I gotta get one.
I'd argue if he's telling the truth, I'd argue Lazar is one of the ones.
Dude, if Bob Lazar is wearing one, I want one.
That's a Photoshop job, but thanks. So Lazar, and here's the crazy thing with this as well. I mean, when you're asking about Lazar, I didn't realize until I spoke to you about this, but TTSA, didn't they publish his book?
Yeah, I told you about this. We have old interviews where we brought it up. Yeah. In fact, we spoke about it first. A lot of people didn't know about it when we initially spoke about it. And I knew about it because
I asked you if Lazar would be working and maybe part of the board.
Yeah,
that would be an amazing move. That would be an amazing. You know, Lou's gone. The Melon's gone. Get Lazar in.
Perhaps, like, there's a couple of people. Like, honestly, dude, like another guy that might be interesting to see if he's on board, because he was working with DeLonge is Neil McClaughlin. You know, like, honestly, like that's like, dude, the guy that turns out was running Area 51 and got outed through WikiLeaks leaks from his correspondence with Tom DeLonge. I mean, that's how we found out about that. He is connected with that as well. That's very interesting that you have the guy that ran Area 51 connected to Tom DeLonge. He's also connected to Bob Lazar. That's odd. Like, honestly, shouldn't they not want anything to do with Bob Lazar if he's completely just a liar?
Do you know what I thought was interesting in what Greer's just put out with the advertisement when he started to speak about Lou Elizondo? I can never say his surname, but he started to speak about him, and he said, "You'll all know him from blah blah blah." He never said TTSA. Greer did not mention TTSA at all. He just said,
No, but not only that, he spoke about how, like, well, Lou Elizondo says that you'd have to have, a threat for there to be, to make money off of this thing, right? That's true. Lou said that, but he didn't say everything that Lou said, especially in the Black Vault interview that he did recently, where he took a very thinly veiled swipe at Greer. They got a brilliant swipe at Greer, dude. Like, it's like I would, if you have time, go check out the Black Vault interview with Lou Elizondo, and let's see if you catch the
"This is where he's talking about the flares."
Yes, no, yeah. No, he's like, he's talking about, well, if you want to, he doesn't mention him by name, but he's like, well, if you want to pretend that you have a special relationship with the extraterrestrials, and that you can go into the forest and meditate, and while some guy in a Cessna throws flares out the window, dude, like that, like, whoa, that was like well crafted. Again, like, I think for many reasons, a lot of these guys aren't going to be around for very much longer, like the traditional UFO hokum people that we've had in the past. I think a lot of people are going to be replaced by actual scientists.
I said just before you joined us before that I thought Greer's speech thing he just did was angling himself differently. So if anything does come out, he can say it's fake. So he's got a new stick. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. He makes the documentary, which, let's face it, it's probably been pretty much made. He makes the documentary, okay? And he was stating that we need to do this to stop this from happening. So he makes the documentary, release it to the world, and then he can just do another documentary saying, we managed to stop this from happening.
Exactly. Exactly.
He's the guy that predicts the end of the world and says only he can stop it.
And again,
it doesn't happen, so he did it. Look, there's everyone.
This is the thing, and for anybody watching this now will think, who's this prick in the UK speaking shit about Stephen Greer? I'm not speaking shit about him, but with the subject, with what comes with ufology, is a lot of mistrust on every party that will speak about this subject. I might put a video out on a UFO. In fact, I did. I put a UFO when you gave me the documentary early, because you got the early viewing of Stephen Greer's latest film. I released a UFO from that, and literally 2 days later, I had to retract it and say that it was flares. And I apologized to everybody because it fooled me. I thought it was UFOs, not flares. Sorry, it was skydivers. And the reason why it fooled me is because you saw it was the way that it was shot, the way the clip had been put into the documentary. But then there's part of me that's saying he doesn't edit the video, but definitely he does get the final say on what gets released. And Stephen, again, I don't know if he watches.
He might not be interested in what gets released. To be fair,
I mean, the thing.
No, it's true. He does that, and this is after years of him talking about. One of the things that he used to do when he was doing CE5s for years and years and years is like he would talk about how he had this great UFO footage and shit like that and videos but you could only see it if you went to the CE5s. This is before he started making videos. And I knew people that went over there, engaging the phenomena. I remember this was years ago. And he and I were at a meeting. And this is well before YouTube. And he had went to the CE5. And he was talking about how Greer had a photo of an alien baby And I was like, what, really? He's like, yeah, this little tiny alien. And I was like, wow, really? Like that sounds weird. And then like maybe 5 or 6 years after that, Greer's pitching the documentary, and that little baby alien was the Atacata humanoid. So that happened, and that's like turned out to be quite dubious.
Yeah, but my thought. I'm a little bit on both sides with that. You know that because I've told you about this. Because Gary Nolan took that stuff. He took the evidence to TTSA, and they then turned around and said, "This is a humanoid." It's like, who do you trust? Because it's like a battle, you know.
I trust
Then
TTSA.
and then then Stephen Greer though he did a video. You saw the video where he was extremely pissed, and he's reading through all the evidence, and he's saying that this is a mass cover up.
Yeah, I honestly like.
Hey, I'm the middleman. I just report the shit.
No, that's fine, but I don't like no. Like again, Greer plays things fast and loose. He most certainly does. He's getting caught up in it because his profile is increasing. You know, same thing happened to what's his face, that the idiot that got busted, drunk driving from YouTube.
Oh, you're on about my boy.
Yes, there we go.
Security.
That's the guy.
Yeah, well, you know, it is an idiot thing to do to drink drive, but I think the guy had a lot of personal. Well, I know him. We speak, and yeah, he's gone through hell in his life. So Tyler, if you watch the show, but if you are watching, I wish you the best and hope you get better, because alcohol, if people get on the wrong side of this can. I mean, I have a few drinks, but I'm never inebriated. But if people get addicted to this, same with anything,
dude,
it destroys lives. It destroys lives.
If you're gonna get smashed, stay home. If you're gonna get like tore up, stay home. I mean, there's a toilet right there, and you can collapse in your bed. You know.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I want to get third phase on to ask her the same question but the thing is, Blake and Brent, they've got each other. Tyler, I don't know who he had or the support that he had. You know, he put a lot of questionable stuff out. But at the same time, he's a human being, you know, and the toll that being a YouTuber and just doing that for a living and just constantly having that pressure to keep that money coming in and what have you. I don't know what it's like when you're a big YouTuber and that's all you rely on. I work for a living.
But that's
not saying that YouTubing work for a living, but you know what I mean?
But that's success. Like you see that all the time, like with the people that do well. You know, that's the thing. It's like once you are. I live in New York City. Like you have to be really, really driven, and really, really smart, and really, really good, and then be lucky on top of that. And then once you get that, you got to keep running. You got to keep running because you could fall off and it never comes back again.
Yeah, you know that's if somebody does fall off, my hopes for them and anybody who has fallen off the bandwagon is get yourself back up. I've fallen off it a few times, not so much with the alcohol, but you know, I know what it's like to have depression. So when you're speaking about like Tyler and that, I wish him the best. You know, I spoke a few times when he's been on at his lowest, and you know, the man just needs to get his ass back on YouTube and just start reporting and putting good stuff out. You know, getting good stuff. I think if every, I have no problem.
Honestly,
yeah, I have.
You want to listen. You want to like. Listen, if you want to save face, you got to lose face.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the boys in the chat. I mean, third phase, they did a U-turn. I think if anybody's going to do anybody that turns it round, you know, good for you. Turn it round.
You know, well, that's the problem in ufology for the longest time is that, you know, you can do some great work and then you don't have anything for like years. I think that might have been what happened with Greer as well. Greer did this thing and it didn't work out. And then it was like, quick, what do I do? How do I keep myself afloat? CE5. and like meditations and super expensive retreats and stuff. And that's the thing, you don't hear a lot of people talking about what they've seen. In those, and
the good that they've done. The actual people remember the bad, but they forget the good.
I think you're right about him taking the knocks as well after the Disclosure Project, and I liked the Little Alien Man documentary as well, and I think he thought both those things were gonna blow something up, and maybe that was it. Maybe when nothing came of those two things, he thought maybe I just charge people $3,000 and we go out and home in the desert.
I mean, the guy was a doctor. He could have stayed a doctor. Even
the way he uses doctor, I find disingenuous, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
it turned out like he's a chiropractor or something.
Yeah. It's because at first,
medical ER.
Yeah, when I first came across him, I just took it for granted that Dr. Stephen Greer was a physicist or a biologist or something. I don't know. So yeah, not a vet.
It's absolutely well. That's the thing. In history, there have been a lot of people that were MDs that actually on the side made like contributions to physics and chemistry, and like major ones like that. So that's not completely impossible that a medical doctor would be able to do something else if they're particularly intelligent.
It's probably slightly more likely than a punk rocker, actually.
Yeah, but not necessarily. No, not necessarily, because you have to understand, famous, popular people.
Yeah.
They do things. People come to them with stuff much more than they do even a doctor, unless that doctor is a celebrity or famous. I mean, you'll be surprised. A lot of celebrities have a lot of very interesting like UFO stories, and I don't mean because they happen to see one out in the forest. No, because they were actually shown stuff. I mean, remember the Jackie Gleason story?
Yeah, I've heard. I remember the name. You have to refresh my memory.
Yeah, Jackie Gleason was a Republican, a lifelong Republican. He was also a lifelong somebody that was interested in the occult and UFOs. Mm-hmm. Jackie Gleason had a UFO-shaped house. It was a round house he had built in upstate New York, and he used to call it the mothership. And inside that house was the largest private UFO book library in the world at the time. Like Jackie Gleason was super into this stuff. Well, anyway, Jackie Gleason was a devoted Republican, and he was best friends with, of all people, Richard Nixon. And Richard Nixon would keep running for president and losing, and Jackie would help him. Running for president and losing, and Jackie would help him. And finally, Rich Nixon won. So the way the story goes is his wife tells the story. He comes home one evening late. You're like, what happened? He's like white as a ghost. And he goes to the bar that they have in the house. Like people used to have bars like that. And he pulls out some whiskey and he starts drinking. He's like, I saw an alien. I saw an alien. And then he proceeds to tell the story. He used to go and play golf with Rich Nixon. And Nixon was like, I got something I want to show you, later. So he's like, okay, whatever. So they meet up later that evening. And he said it was odd because Richard Nixon came to him and Nixon was driving the car. And he didn't have Secret Service with him, which is really, really odd. So he got into the car and he took him to a military installation. And he said he went into a place. They went in like a lot of these stories, they went in the elevator and it went down. Like it was a long elevator ride to go from the ground floor down. And he said that they went in there, he saw a crash disc, but not only that, he said that there were extraterrestrials, bodies that he saw, but that they were in like Coke freezers type things, like they had back then, frozen. And this story was made public after he had passed away, and his wife never recanted this story. So
Nixon saw a UFO as well, didn't he?
I think
was Nixon.
Presidents have.
Reagan saw a UFO.
It was Reagan, I'm thinking of.
It was Reagan. It was Carter saw a UFO. If the other ones haven't, I don't know. But like Clinton has a huge interest in UFOs. Trump's family seems like they were involved in this as well. And the fact that Trump's uncle was actually the protege of the guy that ran Raytheon, and was actually the first guy that allegedly the first guy to run the Majestic 12.
Does that, as someone that's interested, not interested, invested literally in a TTSA, does the connection between obviously stuff we can't talk about on YouTube, but the connection between like Clinton's and Podesta and Tom DeLonge not worry you slightly?
No. This is politics. These things happen in politics. Like, again, are you waiting for the perfect people to come and they're vegan?
No, but I'm definitely looking for people that aren't going to islands with billionaires on private jets.
Yeah, listen, honestly, that's a separate issue. If you're looking for perfect people, horrible people.
No, that's not perfect. No, not traveling off to that island to do God knows what. That's not saying I'm not looking for perfect people.
I'm not excluding that, but the thing is, people in power have these secluded places where they do weird stuff.
Yeah,
always have. This is not new. This is, and it's not even strange. It's actually, par course. Again, I speak to people that, all right, like I live in New York City. I will send a link of Tucker Carlson doing a great interview about UFOs, and they won't listen to it because it's Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
This is that. I will send Republicans clips of Harry Reid dropping bombs, and these are people that are really into UFOs. Well, I don't want to hear nothing that Harry Reid
political tribalism is the fucking worst thing that's happened.
Yeah. I'm a ufologist. I do UFOs. I will work with anybody willing to tell me the truth about UFOs or help get this done. I can't afford to wait for perfect people or perfect situations to get this done, because too much good can get done by getting this done. And in fact, if you look at TTSA, it's a bunch of people on the left side of the aisle and the right side of the aisle coming together to get this done, because we all want this done. We might have different reasons for it, but the point is we get it done. Once we get this out there, we can change course. We can do something else. We can make other decisions.
I worry. What I worry about right now is what is the situation the world's in, and the fact that if this comes out right now, I would say you had to be some sort of coincidence theorist to think that.
Everybody's at each other's throats just before something comes out that would unify the world.
Just be careful what we say about the current situation in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how interesting that all these flames have been, all these fires are going off, and then this miracle happens. It can unify us in the sense that we realize we're not alone, and it can be a kumbaya moment where we're all human beings, or it could be fire and brimstone, something so horrible that we as a species have to pull together. The end result is largely the same.
Greer could be right. Greer could be right, and it could be all organized to send us into some sort of dystopian hellscape.
No, you know what it is? Greer is right-ish. Greer says stuff that is true-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say that there's something about what he's saying that does hit home, that I think
he will tell you
he's onto something.
His angle that support him. He won't tell you stuff that does not support that angle. Or you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. I don't do that. Again, I'm an actual ufologist. I follow the truth. I don't have any religious bend. I've trained myself not to have preferences when it comes to this. You cannot have these luxuries. You're not doing real research. Again, you have to come at this as a scientist. Honestly, there were Jewish physicists that had the stomach working with Nazi scientists, but we got to the moon.
The thing is, we've had these kind of like exciting moments in his life when remember when Paul Hellyer, I can't pronounce his name, Paul Hellyer, the Canadian guy, ex-military. I got excited. I'm thinking this guy's holy shit. He knows some shit. It's gonna happen. And the thing is, over these last couple of years, I do feel like that we're really kind of like touching cloth when it comes to this subject. It's ready to come out.
Yes, no, dude, this is something that's going.
However, Oz, I just feel like we're just going to be constantly constipated when it comes to this subject.
No,
just feel like it's always going to be, just turtle heading.
We're heading. I don't think so, and I think the reason why is because we're hitting a perfect storm. At the same time, our military has these new capabilities to detect things. Extraterrestrials are coming closer than they have before. Slowly but surely, even now, like commercial airlines, like I said, are starting to get in, to see these things. At the same time, commercial space is making huge ground. Like we're going to be seeing people on the moon and Mars very shortly, and not one or two, thousands. They're making plans. Those Elon's ships carry hundreds of people, not 7, not 3. That's the thing, and they're building a fleet of them. It's the ultimate redundancy. Elon is not trying to send one ship to Mars. If you look at the plan, he's trying to send like 30 at once. In case one ship fails, they can, they have 30 other options. They can evacuate that crew to couple of the other ships and still continue on to the mission. You know what I'm saying?
I love Elon. I think he's great.
Well, so do I. I think Elon is great. I think he's disingenuous about UFOs because he builds rockets.
I think he's a cool motherfucker. He really is.
Oh, yeah. But
his head's screwed on.
He's also a businessman, and I think he's too smart to not know. And the thing is, he works with too many engineers to not have heard what they call the legend. That's what they call it in engineering circles. They don't call it ufology. They call it the legend.
Are you talking about the bell?
Amongst other things, yes.
Are you talking about? When you're saying like the Vimanas?
Well, yeah. Well, the legend is that somebody recovered some type of technology somewhere, and they've been working on it ever since. Whether that's the Nazi bell or something that crashed at Roswell or whatever. The point is that even with the fuzziness of the origins, somebody has been working on some very sophisticated technology. That other people
who do you think's working on it? And do you think it's just one country?
I think the U.S. takes precedence on this. I think other countries are involved, but I think we're taking point. I'm almost absolutely certain of that. Like we do know Russia had stuff going on. I don't know how far they've gone. I've heard their program didn't do as well as ours, which makes some sense. Actually, if you see like who's more technologically sophisticated. But anyway, going back to my other point. So now you have UFOs coming closer, and people are going into space. We're converging, and it's happening soon. What are they going to say? Or there's no UFOs? Well, we've been seeing them on the moon. Oh, you mean the Apollo mission? No, I mean those 500 people that went there on the weekend. A bunch of them are celebrities and billionaires because they're the only people that can afford it.
So do you think there's travel back and forwards from the moon now if you can afford to do it?
Well,
so
not now.
Right now. All right, sorry.
Right now,
I thought you meant right now.
No, I'm talking about SpaceX type stuff. No, I do believe that. Like people say, we didn't go to the moon. Yes, we went to the moon, but I do question how many times.
I question the footage.
No, that's honestly that they cleaned. Like there's evidence of them playing games with certain images from the moon, old school type stuff too, like airbrush and things that were really hard to notice unless you were a professional photographer back then. But with digital stuff, you can find quite easily. Yeah, in fact, you can already do some of it. So
what you're saying with the airbrushing there, Oz, I've got literally, I think I told you this when I first got into this subject, I've got literally files and files of moon footage that I've gone through with a fine-tooth comb. And as somebody who knows a little bit about Photoshop, Photoshop wasn't around back then. Well, was it? I don't know. But you can see where things have been overlapped and covered up, like maybe they've put something on there. Now, whether that is just coincidence and it's the fact that it's an old picture, something's been stuck to it. My thoughts behind that is these pictures, these NASA pictures, you'd fucking look after pictures of the moon, wouldn't you? You know, we've got they're precious. It's not your. It's not just your wedding. It's not your wedding.
Well,
your wedding.
I think the
What's it called?
I think the answer could be.
She will watch it.
One, the reason why they played with the imagery is one, we spent billions of dollars on it, and they wanted to show somebody something nice. If you look at the first footage of Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, it's awful. It's god awful.
Yeah. But it's god awful though because of how it was how they were forced to film it.
What they did was they made prestige stuff to sell to the public. At the same time, they also were trying to hide a few things.
So why didn't they give a direct feed? Why did they insist that TV companies filmed it while it was being projected onto a cloth?
We got it from the way it worked is that given the position of the moon and the time of the landing, it was projected from the moon off a dish from Australia, and then everybody else got it from the dish in Australia. In fact,
but weren't the cameras that put the broadcast out live filming it while it was being projected onto a screen?
Yes, they were on sticks. They protruded out.
Mm-hmm. So wouldn't it be better to use a raw feed?
Pardon?
Couldn't you have used a raw feed back then?
I don't know.
I think you could have used single global raw feed.
But that at the same time, it's like, well, what do you want to do? What if they? All right, back then, I know a lot about NASA and the space program, and I'm kind of a space historian. I could have a channel just on regular space, let alone UFOs. Though my preference is ufology by far. The way it is, it's like, all right, they didn't know exactly what they were going to land on. They were worried that they could land on the equivalent of quicksand or something, and the limb would just sink into the ground, or like they could get out of the limb, and like the astronauts could actually cross an area that was like quicksand, and then the astronaut could sink in. That's why Armstrong and Aldrin were tethered. A lot of people don't know that they were tethered to the limb when all of that happened. It's like, so this is the thing. If you had a live feed, do you want all the kids in the world sitting in their class watching the astronauts die? Because that happened to me when I was a little boy, when they gathered all the kids to see the Challenger go up, because there was a school teacher on it, and we got a big, nice, all the kids in America got to see that. So that's what they were trying to probably prevent. That, and also what happens if you landed the UFO and an alien that lived there just walked up and said hello. Maybe you don't really want that disclosed either. There are many reasons why you do that. And in fact, if we were in that position, we would do the same thing.
I never thought of it that way.
No, people are ignorant of these things. Again, I come from a science background, I come from a space background, and I come from a ufology background. And these things do coalesce.
But then why, the original footage now that was gone.
We're not doing this, are we? We're not doing this. We are, aren't we? We're doing this. We always do. It's nearly 2 hours. Let's talk about, did we go to the moon?
But the original footage is lost. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, no. And then we don't know how to build the Saturn V's anymore.
Yeah,
too. That's not,
that guy with the glasses. That guy with the glasses seems like an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would if I had
Listen. Let me tell you something about that. There are idiots. Honestly, if you work at NASA, especially now, you're not the best of the best.
But he was an astronaut, wasn't he?
Yeah, but even still, there's scales. Like, all right, it's the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And they had a big.
Was he a red shirt? Was he? He wasn't supposed to come back.
Yeah. But there's the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and they had this huge thing at the Javits Center to celebrate. So of course I went, and it was interesting because it was also like NASA decided to fund this, so it was like Star Trek brought to you by NASA. And so I went, and I was in there, and most of the displays, like I think more than half, were all these NASA projects, and they sucked. They were like super lame projects, and like you had this guy. There was this one guy who was like, he had a satellite that was going to go and do some take photographs of something, and he was like, yeah, I'm kind of like the Commander Riker of this mission. And I was like, oh, good Lord. Like, they're trying to, spin stuff up and look really cool, and it isn't working. And then, and I know a lot about space systems. So there was a lady there, and they were trying to promote the Orion, which is that moon rocket that Lockheed is trying to build, that is just basically clearly inferior to Spaceship One. I mean, SpaceX stuff.
Yeah.
Clearly, orders of magnitude more inferior, and quite honestly, lame. And I asked her, well, SpaceX has much greater capabilities, and they're doing a lot more ambitious stuff, and they will probably get there faster. Quite honestly, why are you even trying to continue with Orion? Because it just doesn't seem to work. It's like, well, you really think Elon's going to get the science we want done? Like, acting all sassy. And it's like, yes, because he's going to land 300 scientists. You're going to land 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you sure you're an engineer? Because you're not. Your math skills are clearly off. A lot of these people play politics. They play games. Some of this stuff is just work for jobs programs for nerds. And then there's a lot of corruption in that. Again, dude, like it's there's a lot of interesting stuff. Honestly, if you're into ufology, you should probably study a lot more about the aerospace community, or rather, you should have in the past. Now, things might be getting a lot more open and interesting.
Do you think?
Oh, go on. I bet you're going to say the same thing as I am about the technology that we're still using.
What I was going to say was, do you think there's a more sophisticated military space program?
Do I think there's a sophisticated military space program?
Yeah, more.
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
How long for?
Actually, like the weird rumors. Have you guys been keeping up with John Warner, the new guy?
No.
John Warner. You haven't heard of him?
No, never.
Heard the name,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we spoke about him before on the channel.
Oh yeah. Okay. John Warner IV is a member of the Mellon family. In fact, he's Chris Mellon's cousin, and he's also a member of the Warner family. His dad was Secretary of the Navy, and for years and years and years, decades even, and was a U.S. senator. His stepmother is Elizabeth Taylor, or was Elizabeth Taylor. John Warner was a famous race car driver. Like, this guy went to elite schools. He literally says he's one of the 300 families that part of these 300 families, and he is who he claims he is. And he is now he wrote.
There you go, Oz. Look at that. There you are. I told you this. We keep saying this. You need your own YouTube channel. My good friend Ginger Steve has kindly donated for YouTube channel. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
100%. Thank you, Ginger Steve. You're a diamond. And he's ginger like me and you, Lee.
Won't hold it against him, though.
No. We have souls. Well,
it's all right. I'm trying to white it away.
One soul between the both of you.
Sorry, Oz, before I rudely interrupted with the kind donation, but go on, carry on.
No, but anyway, he wrote this book called Little Anton, right? And it's supposed to be, at first, it's about engineers in Nazi Germany, right? And then it quickly gets into UFOs and stuff like that. And he says a lot of fascinating stuff. And one of the things he drops recently, he spoke about, is that He says that the Navy and the Air Force have these little 2-man space stations that are that basically they send these gravitic craft that are made by us. That, like, basically they every couple of months they exchange, crews or 2 back and forth. I think the Navy has like 4 and the Army has like 4, something like that. And basically one of their big jobs is to observe extraterrestrial craft coming in and out of the atmosphere and their activities. In fact, they said that they can go from orbit, they can go miles in the water. Now, this is the thing. Did he provide proof of this? No. But that guy is super well connected. Super well connected. Like, beyond our ability to.
This is the guy that's Mellon's
cousin, yeah, and Elizabeth Taylor's stepson, and the son of a senator that was in charge of the U.S. Navy.
This is like what Lee was saying to you before, though, with the families.
Look him up.
Very much.
That's your homework assignment.
Do you know what I mean, though? I get what Lee was saying before when he was saying with TTSA, with like the link without risking getting into trouble with the politics part of it. But do you get where these people are kind of they're related, a lot of these people. You do find this out.
Listen,
and just because, see, my dad was in the Merchant Navy. He tried to get me in the Merchant Navy.
No, that happens. Yeah, like listen. Things run in families. I mean, Tom DeLonge's father was an oil executive. Tom DeLonge's brother, his older brother, the one in the military, I think he's a captain. Like, he's got a boat. All right, and not only that, his family has a tradition of that. A lot of these guys have traditions.
They're all Freemasons as well, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, well,
I do want to say it. Thanks.
That's like joining the Rotary Club. If your dad was in the Rotary Club, it's just like our connections are insignificant in comparison. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
I get what you mean,
but on a much larger level.
But
saying that, a friend of mine's dad's a Freemason. He's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's levels of stuff.
Yeah,
and that doesn't mean that the high-level Freemasons are horrible. No, the Freemasons have done a lot of great stuff for the world. And I'm saying I'm American. Like, I wouldn't be if it wasn't for the Freemasons.
No, absolutely not. There's plenty of capstones around your neck of the woods, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, listen, are they perfect? No. But if you're waiting for the perfect people, nothing's ever going to get done.
Yeah, the only I agree with you to an extent there, but again, I don't know what you can and can't say on YouTube there. But when you're looking at old people hanging around with old Jeffrey E, and like I say, flying around on jets, I think that is it's a section of society I don't think can be trusted.
I didn't say trust them. You're mistaken.
Yeah, but if they suddenly disclose aliens and UFOs to you, you'll trust that?
I will trust that the aliens exist and the UFOs exist. I have my own reasons for doing so. And very, very good reasons for doing so. This was going to happen. This was always going to come out. Is it going to be spun? Absolutely. It's going to be spun in every possible direction by every possible faction of anybody, from very powerful people to assholes on YouTube. Everyone is going to spin this. You're going to spin this.
Assholes on
you
YouTube.
Will spin this.
Goddamn right I am.
Spin this. People don't have a lot of discipline. They don't. I do my best to have a lot of discipline. That's why I don't play favorites. My favorite is the truth or the answers, even if I don't personally like it. I don't, like there's life is about accepting a lot of things you don't like. And to deny that doesn't make you a hero. It makes you a fool.
No, it's not denying it though. But I mean, there's certain sections of people that.
Listen, I get this whole hero thing that we've all been raised on, but it's disingenuous. Like if you're looking for Superman, you're probably not going to find him. You're more likely to find the Punisher than Superman.
Maybe.
You get what I'm saying? There's
I think it depends how deep
reality.
It depends how deep you think that goes, and that's. There's few things I would hang my hat on and say I believe, and I believe there's some dire stuff go on with those people.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's called life. There's always been dire stuff going on. Read ancient books.
Okay, I think they're a bunch of Satanists.
Yeah. Well, dude, define Satanism, because that's the thing. Like when people say
No, I can't. I genuinely can't tell you on YouTube what I think because Ollie will lose his channel.
I look at it this way. Satanism.
But if you do want to see what Lee thinks, go check out Mutzi Audio.
It involves fences or different words for fences and round fast food.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Yes, I think I know what you're. I hear a lot yeah.
Yo, guys, I have to get out of here.
Oh no, John. Me and you will catch up. Yeah, we need to get you on again. Me and thee. And we will have a chat. But for anybody that doesn't know about John wreaking havoc, I interviewed John probably over a year ago now. And people have seen you, but you've taken a bit of a step back from ufology. And I just thought I wanted to get you on because I've not seen you for a bit. But I hope you're okay, mate. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good, man. This is a good time. It's nice finally talking to Osvaldo.
Thank you.
You know, I always like talking to you guys.
Actually talk to you, dude.
Yeah, maybe we can have a conversation another time in the future. You and me.
Yeah. It's good to see you, John.
Yeah, I'll have to get you on together, and I'll just sit back and I'll let you. Yeah. You know, it'd be nice to see two people that experience stuff just have, you know, a little bit of a chit chat, and I'll pull myself out. That's what she. I'll just let you two chat, and it'd be good for the audience just to see, because I'd like to see that. I'd like to see two experiences discussing the subject.
Sorry, Ginger Steve just cracked me up. Ginger Steve just cracked me up because he just stuck a super chat in for John's opinion on something, and then just replied to it by saying, "Badly timed super chat."
That's hilarious. I was enjoying listening. I was just taking in all the information, you know. Sometimes it's better to listen. But yeah, Ollie, you got the other thing. I didn't know you were going to be involved in the other thing I'm working on as well. With
Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff.
I'm happy about that. I didn't know you were a part of it, but you know.
Yeah, definitely a part of that, and that's gonna happen. We're gonna get you back on with that. We're gonna see what's going on there. It's gonna be a bit weird to do that because it's
I kind of got to figure it out. So whenever you want to do a test run, let me know.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, John, thanks for coming on, mate, and I will catch you later.
Yeah, all you guys have a good night. Everybody in the chat. I'll see you guys at some point later somewhere else.
And go check out John's channel, Wreaking Havoc. 215. Go check it out because you are going to start up again, aren't you, John?
Yeah, I had to take a step out for a minute. You know, I felt got a little hectic for a second, and I needed a break. I need to look everything over and evaluate everything and get back at it. So I'm good.
Part of being a ufologist is running screaming from the subject every once in a while.
Yeah, I had some personal stuff going on, so thinking about aliens every day didn't make it any easier. So, you know, I had to remove myself, but I'm ready to get back at it. So
get that, mate. Yeah, no worries. And I'll catch up with you later, mate. I will catch you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, ta-ra, mate.
All right, you guys have a good night.
For coming on.
See you later, John.
Later.
So yeah, sorry, Oz, but I definitely need to get you and John on together, and I will literally leave and just go into the chat and let you two talk it out. That's what I want to see. Without me, you don't need me in that. But yeah, these people that have this connection with this subject, they're all very much connected. And I get what Lee's saying there and I get the concerns, put it that way. I do get that, because the more and more you research this subject, and for somebody that is on the outside, that is checking out, the new bits of UFO footage that's being released to us from people who are quite high up, or people, it's a massive feedback. I don't know if you turn me down, or I don't know what it is, but
No, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just I can hear myself as well. But yeah, these how do I put this right? I think a lot of the people that are looking into this subject for the first time have no idea the backgrounds of these people.
No.
And I think the people that do know the backgrounds have their concerns, and rightly so.
Yes, this is true.
Would you say that's fairly?
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, be concerned about everyone. Don't trust anything. Do your own research. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the problem. When you're researching the subject, when you're researching the craft, you stumble onto these people.
I think there's more evidence. Sorry, Ollie. I think there's more evidence about the round fast food problem between the Podestas, the Clintons, the man of which didn't kill himself, of which we can't mention his name anymore. I think there's more evidence for that than what they're giving us of UFOs. And that's what concerns me.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say
I would absolutely go that far. I just did, but
we will save that for Must See Audio, Lee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't go any further with that, please.
No.
Seeing YouTube
just melting away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until you've got 10,000 followers. Then do it.
No, but I get you. I get why you're saying this, Lee, and I do. But this is weird because you got your first warning on YouTube the other day for speaking out of term.
Yeah. I had a guy called Courtney Adam Lawrence on. I won't say what we were talking about, but it's that to me scary. Is the I think bullshit falls under its own weight. I always have done. And censorship stops that happen. And this is my problem with Tom DeLonge. I think Tom fell under his own bullshit on Rogan. And that's not saying I think TTSA is without merit, because I think there's been something there. The fact that they've got History Channel programs, and History Channel is pretty synonymous with being fucking nonsense. That worries me. But I worry about the censorship thing. That's what I was trying to say. But that's
Lee. We've been going for 2 hours, and we're actually overscheduled by about 45 minutes because I try to generally keep it to an hour and 45.
There's too much to talk about.
There is, but I like this. I like this crew. We'll get you all back on together. But could you kindly answer Ginger Steve here, Lee? Yes,
sorry,
this is for you.
I've just read it. Yeah,
I'll have to buy you a beer. So Lee Must See Audio. I'm just seeing if I can kill the guests with Super Chat. How's life, mate? How much does Osvaldo need his own channel?
I agree.
You do.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. Doing it. Listen, I run around a lot, and I've been my mother's caretaker since I was 7, and now my mother's getting older, and there's more issues. You can believe it. So like things happen, so I get like sidetracked, But I have there is a show coming. It's coming very soon, and I have some very, very interesting, super interesting things I'm going to share with you. And not just tell you, I'm going to show you, because I rather show people. I want you to see this for yourself.
1 second, Oz. Yeah, go.
Pardon? No, but yeah, no, that's just it. Like there's something coming from me, and it will be soon, and you will all know about it. In fact, Ollie will let you know. And in fact, I will probably be doing a Q&A with Ollie on Alien Addict after the first episode of my show premieres.
Do you have a time scale for it? Sorry.
Next couple of weeks, I'm going to have something up.
Are you close to getting what we've been talking about?
Oh, yeah. That's not the issue. It's it's about me getting the time to get everything together, and I'm also learning like software and stuff like that for the first time to do these things. So I have to edit my own stuff and things like that. So that's time consuming. So I will have a rough thing, and then from then on I will be doing regular updates and like my own I guess research specials that I'll be putting together. And I'm certain that you guys will find it most interesting.
I can't wait for that. I've not told anybody, and I won't. Yeah, I've not even told Lee about it. So
this is gonna be this is gonna be a thing, dude. We're gonna
I kind of don't understand it at the same time. I understand it, and at the same time, I don't understand it.
Yeah,
so
it's all right.
I don't want to
find out before everybody else does. But
let's not baffle the people in the chat because I don't want to be that person. Like it's like teasing them, I'm not that person. yeah, cool. There's going to be something really good that's coming on this channel. There is going to be something really good that's coming on this channel. But yeah, I don't want to be that person. But there is something going to be, and on your channel, and we'll put it in the description. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna cut the interview. It's not an interview, chit chat. I'm gonna cut the debate, the open stream. We'll get some more guests in.
I like to think of it as a snuggle.
Yes, a massive, big, giant UFO snuggle. It has been emotional. I'm going to put you guys down in the timeout section while I say goodbye to the people in the chat, and I'll speak to you in a moment.
See you later, guys.
But yeah, Osvaldo Franco is going to have his own show. I just think you should call it the Osvaldo Franco Show.
I'm working on a title. I got it might be called Hardcore Ufology with Osvaldo Franco, because that's basically what it's going to be.
I think it should be called Talking Franco.
Maybe. No, that sounds too much like a daytime afternoon show. With some tea and things.
I like tea.
English, you have to like tea.
and I quite like Bud Light as well.
I just drink anything.
They have Bud Light makes a tea now. Well, they do here.
Bud Light tea. I'm in.
It's alcoholic though.
Budweiser tea.
Yes, they do. They're doing a lot of weird stuff.
God, I'm coming to America.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of weird alcohol beverages now, like in the States.
Oh God, that's that when you showed me the other day, Oz, with the alien, the actual alien from the film.
What a great idea!
God, we don't get the aluminium bottles of Bud though. That's a shame. I like the aluminium bottles.
Yeah. So guys, I'm going to drop you out because we're 2 hours and a quarter. It's going to get to 4 hours if I leave it any longer, and then nobody will be in. They'll just look at it and go, "That's 4 hour live stream. I ain't watching that."
Quick, somebody super chat.
I'll stay on. No, I'm going to go. But yeah, we'll do another show. Simple as that.
Cheers, Ollie.
Good guess. Yeah, I'll catch up with you in a second. Oh, thank you, Steve, for saying bye with the super chat. I'll pay you back soon. Guys, thank you so much for everybody being in the chat tonight. It's been quite busy, and I think it's been an interesting show. I think I want to do more like this rather than just interviewing one-on-one. Get some guessing. I do like to get Leon from Musty Audio because I work with him. I've been on his show quite a few times. He's been on mine. Oz, I've known Oz for a long time. I had Oz on since the beginning of really TTSA, so it's been a bit of a journey. And he doesn't mind if I, slate them sometimes for little mistakes that they do, but at the same time, I do like TTSA. That's my tongue. That's not the drink. TTSA. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for everybody who supports the channel, Alien Addict. Check out the merch if you want to support it further, or you could become a Patreon. The link is in the description. But I've got some cool merch, guys. I've got some very cool merch. And here is Mr. Corbell and Bob rocking the fake t-shirts that I photoshopped. But yeah, here is the stuff that I do. I've got 3 designs at the moment. It is in the description. And they're all mine, basically. There's my original Alien logo. There's the kind of shadow figure that is alien-ish. And there is the alien, which did get pulled down, but then got put back up when they realized that I'd drawn it myself. But yeah, you can get it on cups, get your t-shirts, whatever. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. And become an addict, subscribe, and share it out, because if we grow this, I can just do this full time and just talk nonsense to you all. Good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. I'll nod again because I can't work out.